Short video here today, guys. This video really has two purposes that I'm hoping it will serve. Number one is to remind you of a reality, and number two is to give you some very recent real-world examples of that reality that you can draw on for both your own edification and in conversations and debates when relevant. So that simple reality is leftists, by and large, do not believe what they are selling you, especially when that thing that they are selling you happens to be some kind of alleged urgent need or world-ending threat. They tend to not believe their own preaching. That is the assumption with which you should enter any appeal that leftists make to an urgent need or a world-ending threat, especially when those threats and urgent needs happen to just hand over a lot of power to leftist structures, leftist governments, or even the government in general, because remember, in socialism and communism, leftist thinking and governing structures, the whole point is to centralize power to an elite group and to keep everyone else under control. So things that aid in getting that centralization for a select group of elites of control and power, those should be looked at very critically, and I'm going to give you some examples of exactly how this works. The first and most obvious case, which I genuinely hope many people are already very aware of, which sees leftists touting morals and policy ideas which they themselves do not adhere to, do not believe in, and do not uphold, is in the COVID-19 restrictions and lockdowns. COVID, of course, was a real sickness of dubious origins, which was grossly overrepresented, misrepresented, miscounted, and leveraged for political and power-grabbing purposes during a very crucial time in American history. And the amount of fear-mongering that went on was insane, but the people who were the loudest fear-mongers and grabbers of control weren't afraid themselves. How do I know this? Because they didn't follow their own safety guidelines. You know, those restrictive, strong-arm safety guidelines, lockdowns, and sources of policy that were imposed on you and your family in 2020, yeah, those didn't apply to the elites, and they knew that they were bogus. Biden, the Obamas, Whitmer, the Cuomos, Newsom, Pelosi, Lightfoot, and others all broke mandates which they themselves either outright supported vocally in the public or helped to impose on the populations around them. They weren't scared of breaking the mandates. They weren't scared of the repercussions on their health, and they sure weren't scared of any legal repercussions because, again, the health situation was grossly misrepresented, and the legal situation, well, they're the elites. It was all about power. They don't have to listen to the rules that you do. Rules for thee, not for me. The next situation, which is a grossly misrepresented power grab, is climate change, global warming, or as it was called in the late 1900s, global cooling. Cowardly elitist hypocrites like Taylor Swift, who we put on a pedestal, who are outspoken and telling their millions of young screaming fans about how terrible the threat of climate change is and how we must take action and raise awareness now. Yeah, those are the same people who are literally topping the charts of climate abusers. For another example, let's examine the climate awareness of radical leftist Justin Trudeau in this clip.
I'd like to welcome the Prime Minister back from his $80,000 vacation, which he got for free. He said, like most Canadians, friends welcomed him for that vacation. He took two, not one, but two private jets paid for by the taxpayer, burning 100 tons of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. He wants to tax the heat and the food of Canadians. Did he pay the full carbon tax on each of the 100 tons of emissions that he put into the atmosphere as part of his $80,000 vacation?
To the left, it is only about power. Their currency, the only thing that they value is power. And to get that, they will deceive, they will grandstand, they will claim a false moral high ground, and they will do whatever they need to, including making fake urgent emergencies that drive power into their hands. I hope that this helped you to think through and see past some of the deceptions of our time, and also that it just enabled you to have some ready examples here to pull on. I always include citations in my videos for your reference, so they're a starting point for your own research, and I encourage you to do that. Have a great day, guys. Take it easy.